Hilla Coleman, you should know. Okay, Hilla, first question. Tell us about your job as Information Technology Project Manager for Farmer Mac.
So Farmer Mac is a company that provides mortgages and loans to the agriculture community to ensure that lights stay on in the rural community and agriculture. And one of the items that I basically work on as the Information Technology Project Manager is we basically develop software where people can submit their mortgages and loans to get approved, and I oversee that the implementation happens correctly, that there are no glitches in the system. And I also help on projects that are more on the business development side where technology will be a key aspect of it.
Okay, great. And you were born in Los Angeles. What was it like moving from LA to Germany? And what was it like growing up in Cologne?
So I moved to Germany when I was 5, and it was interesting because I actually didn't know how to speak until I was 5, so I was learning English and German simultaneously. I think the thing that I most remember is I went from sunny California to winter, and it was very bizarre. And also I arrived in Germany right before the wall came down, so I was actually there to see the wall come down, and it was just being there at a time when people were so alive, and it was just a different culture. It was suddenly I went from sitting in a car all the time to walking everywhere, and people talking about politics and different stuff and movements, and that's really what I grew up with. And I did my school education for elementary, middle, and part of high school all in German. And academically, it was just rigorous. Many questions, and just the teachers really pushed us to the core. And we would take 14 subjects a year. And I remember moving back to the U.S. when I was 15 to attend boarding school, and I went from 14 subjects to 7. And it was different. It was just, yeah.
And what would you say are the biggest differences between Germany and the United States?
The biggest difference between Germany and the United States, well, taking it from a growing up perspective, I would say I remember my mom felt very comfortable with putting me on the metro by myself at the age of 6 to go across town to school, and trusting that when I was done, I would get back on that metro and come home. And she didn't have to worry about a thing. And I think here it's your parents have to drive you everywhere. There's very little trust that as a child you can actually navigate the city on your own, and there's even just this fear. And I remember over there was just never a fear as a child. You could just go wherever, you could take long walks, you could play with your friends in the street. And that was maybe the biggest difference here. There's just such a sense of trust. Not saying that there's that not here, it's just different because I know that had I gone to university there, I probably most likely would have to 80% pursue the profession in which I got my degree. And here, I think what's so beautiful about America is you really can be whoever and whatever you want to be. So you can start off in one profession, but you have the ability to switch. So you're not stuck and married to one thing.
Oh, very good. And what do you miss the most about living in Germany, and what do you like the most about living here in the United States?
Oh, what do I miss the most? I think I really miss those Sunday late afternoons sitting actually in the beer garden with friends, enjoying a beer, just beautiful weather, and the great conversations I have with them. What do I love most about being here? Brunch. I know that sounds weird, but I do enjoy the brunch culture. Also a way of getting together with friends and really socializing. I think DC is dynamic in the world of networking and making new friends. So I would say that here definitely you can make friends easier. It's much easier to get into different networks and really meet and grow. And there, I think I would have been probably with the same group of friends all through my life.
Oh, very good. And tell us about your involvement in the education reform movement.
So I basically worked for DC Public Schools for about 2 years. I was a coordinator for community engagement management. And one of my roles was to engage companies to participate with schools around activities. As my former director, when I worked for her, used to say, very often a company will come to a school and the school will say, we're in need of bread. And the company will be like, well, that's great, but we have soup. Take the soup. And the school will be like, no, we really need bread. And the company will be like, no, take the soup, it's better for you. And what a lot of my job was is changing that conversation with these companies before they go to the school to be like, hey, you know, if the school says we need bread, then if you can't provide them with bread, let's find the school that will want the soup. The analysis just really shows that it's very frequently we all want to give to the school, and we always think, oh, they always need this one thing, but we rarely listen to what the school really does want. And if you just take a moment and meet with the teachers and the principals, there's a whole world that we're always never aware of, that once they get the support, it makes a difference, and that's the conversation I was very focused on.
Great. And tell us about your involvement with AJC Access DC.
Sure. So I have been a member for 2 years with AJC Access, and for those who don't know what AJC stands for, it's the American Jewish Committee. We've been around for 110 years, one of the oldest organizations. I've been now 2 years on the board, and I am the incoming vice chair. Last year I was the intergroup task force chair, and then also I am now the incoming member on the Global Access Steering Committee as well. So what does that look like? It looks like bringing Jewish people together, young professionals primarily, to really grow, come up with ideas, programming. And it also looks like interacting with our other partner organizations. So really keeping that alive. So we do a lot of work with the Urban League Thursday Network, the United Macedonian Diaspora, the Hindu American Foundation, and the Coptic Christians. And it's really seeing where is it that we find commonality, where is it we can work together, and then putting on events and programming where people can come together for that.
And you recently went on an AJC trip to Chile.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little about that trip?
So AJC actually offers mission trips where they go around the world, different countries, and you have to apply for them. And so a year and a half ago, they actually took a group of 11 of us down to Santiago, Chile, to meet with the Jewish population. What was very interesting is that we got to learn about a population of 20,000 Jews. We got to interact with them. We basically met with, the heads of the Jewish student unions. But in addition to that, we also got to meet with politicians, Chilean politicians, and ask them questions about Jewish life within the society. How are they supported? Because, one of the aspects that a lot of people are unaware of is that Chile actually has the biggest Palestinian diaspora outside of Palestine. We're looking at over 500,000. And so it was like understanding the interactions between the Palestinian and the Jewish community and how they navigate and how they build bridges and what we can learn from them and bring back to the U.S.
Great. And final question, what other aspects of the DC Jewish community do you participate in?
In addition to AJC Access, I also participate around 6 and I, Historical Synagogue. I am a big fan of their programming. I actually am a B'nai B'nitzvah from one of their programs. I also like to go to Metro Minyan and occasionally can be found at Gather the Jews.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay.